Howdy everybody. Welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. By the way, someone pointed this out, the trees that weren't being deconstructed, they were just out of range of a RoboPort. You know, when I was looking here, the reason, it's hard to see, and I don't even know how this person spotted it, to be honest. You can't see the green underneath the Nexalit. So the Nexalit was covering up the fact that there's a little gap in the RoboPort coverage there. And I'm actually genuinely curious how the person who left that comment, sorry I don't have your name on the tip of my brain, I don't know how you even noticed that, to be honest. Because, like, as far as I can tell, you can't see it. Maybe you just conjectured that's the only reason it could have been happening. But either way, that's what happened in the last episode with those trees. Perfect. All right. So in this episode, we are going to be doing all the normal things, aka, well, what are the normal things? I mean, we're progressing. We're making progress. We're not progressing on science, so that's the first thing I'm gonna check on. Is it the usual oh, no, it's not the usual suspects. Cotton butts. Uh-oh. Butt-oh, more like it. What's the issue with the butts? We are reading this mixer, just FYI. So, we're not gonna have that issue. But seriously, why are these all not running? This is a large chunk of these not running. Producing 1.5. We're using 1.4, so something's gone wrong here if these don't have cotton guts as input. Let's check first on cotton gut pup. Oh, you know, it maybe is just because it fired up a couple minutes ago. It looks like it just started up 12 minutes ago. So that might be the issue. But why would it have just... Oh, it's the requests? We're not requesting enough? Maybe we're out of Moondrop. Oh, nope. I bet I know what it is. I bet it's Relasia seeds. Okay, sorry. Wait, we don't want to be all the way up at 72. I always want to have at least a couple empty slots here. I bet it's Relasia seeds. Wow, so Relasia is actually the problem right now. Who would have thunk? Okay, we can expand this a little bit without too much effort. So let's do that. First I want to check that the connections are going to expand properly. They will. So let's do this. Let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chunks of 8. So this would be a 20% boost. This would be a 40% boost on Relasia. Get those going. Okay. Now, 40% boost on Relasia means we're gonna need theoretically up to 2 more botanical nurseries. I think I want to redo some of this. Alright, so we're gonna pick up the water and put that somewhere else, maybe over here on the side. How about right here? And I don't know how many I need, so I'm just gonna do 4. It's probably more than I need. And then this guy goes here. Okay, so now water can go away from there. And then I want to do the electrolyzers somewhere else as well, which the most I should need is 3. I was hoping to do it on this line. I guess I can over here. Okay. We are wasting oxygen here, I just realized. Yeah, I think it's actually enough oxygen I want to put in the work of providing. Oops. Let's see. F provider extension goes there. Oxygen. No, this is a trash provider. Wait, is it? No. No, this is just a normal provider. But at high priority. Alright, prio will do 5. No, this is a full-on byproduct. This is a full-on, I'm trashing it if it's not getting used. So that actually means... what does that actually mean? That should actually be priority 20. Because priority 10 is for byproducts that might go to a channel 2, and better to go to channel 2 and potentially have some use, though channel 2 might just trash it as well, but better to potentially have some use than to just go literally in a sinkhole or exhaust vent, which is what this will do when it overflows. But we already know, I guess it kind of doesn't matter because we already know channel 2 is made for not trashing for fluids, because remember, fluids, there. Fluids don't get trashed on channel 2 because they can just get locally voided. So there's not really that much of a point, I guess, in what I just did, but it's fine. And then this oxygen now can come down over here. Up. Do we even need that one? We do. Okay. Okay. So that is oxygen. And this is oxygen from Ralasia. Fluid provide. Okay. So now I can ditch these, ditch some of these connections, ditch this water connection, ditch this up to there. We need power for our buildings here. Get that going. Looks like we're not doing Ralasia plantations in the auto mall. So let's get that done. Ralasia plantation. Wait, we do have Ralasia plantations. Okay, we'll be fine. Are they not? No, we should. Are we missing treated wood? Might be missing treated wood. No, it's just taking forever because we only have one requested. Okay, we should be fine. Oh, and they do 300 soil. Yeah, that's gonna slow down this process. I'm not worried about that. It'll get done eventually. We do need a bunch of Ralasia in a provider chest though, which I can probably. I'll just do that manually. That'll be easier. And are we getting any closer on the real Ralasia? The real Ralasia Mark II? Will it please stand up? It's not standing up. What a bummer. What a bummer, dude. Really like that to get done, because we need Mark II Ralasia. All dim Malaysia seeds. Oh, this was where I needed to do that. Okay, Malaysia is down here, so let's go visit. And yeah, I think the main goal of this episode is, I guess, to clean up whatever messes we find, which we're doing right now, and kind of keep planning on our Kim size stuff. I'm still not sure if we need Renea. I'm gonna put that way to the bottom. And I'm not really sure how much we need Xiapho. I still am surprised. The way people talked online, I was under the impression Xiapho would be far better than, what's the other thing called? Than, I can't think of the name of it. You know, the crab things. Zippier. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be far better than Zippier. And it turns out it's kind of like medium better than Zippier. Not really all that much better. Alright, so there's that. And then for the soil, I was thinking we would actually just do a separate line. And I don't even know how many we need, but I'm gonna guess. So that's only a 33% boost. I'm gonna be safe and go with a 66% boost. And then the soil can get side loaded right there. I actually like that look better because you can see the soil. Okay, and then we do power along the back of buildings here. And then they all need to be soil. And then we need the water. Don't drink the water. Alright, so there's soil, we've got more Malaysia seed production, and I guess the only thing left to check, are we gonna have issues with rates? 6.72, nope, we should be okay. Okay, yeah, 4 would have been enough there. And I presume... Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, it depends. No, it doesn't depend. Two pump jacks would still be enough. We must have just barely been over 300 initially. Okay, and then finally, we need to take some of the flowers. And stick them in a provider chest. So, and that should do it. For Malaysia, 40% improvement on that. The nice part is there's no additional ingredients, so Malaysia are really 0 input, which means I probably should have scaled them up a while ago, or I should have just made them bigger in the first place. Being 0 input is so nice. We don't even have to worry about train shipments and stuff. What does that bring my final total to? 3.5 seeds to make 4.4. That roughly cancels out. So it's a net of about 3.6 seeds. Okay. Because it's about 50-50. Half of the Malaysia goes back to seeds. Ah, coffee. Alright, so that should help out with our Malaysia seed problem. And are these already all running? I think they should be. Yeah, we've got all the soil extractors running now. These guys are making a full half belt of seeds. Oh, wait. Are we okay? Doesn't seem to like what just happened. Isn't the whole point of this mod that it can do stuff like this? Oh, you pick one. I don't understand that. What is this? This is a new feature. I mean, I assume it's really cool. I just don't understand it yet. Oh my gosh. So you're picking which one is the product. So you either get 1.6 Ralasia or the seed. Wait, no, something's still weird. Oh, so that has it. I think what would happen if the Ralasia came from outside. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Wait, 6.17 if all 6 are running, though. That's not correct. It's 8.7. With ingredients being 5 Ralasia. So if we select this, and then that, neither of these are 8.7. What is the difference here? Really sure. I have a feeling this is the correct one, but I'm not totally understanding what's going on. So this is... I don't know what that little arrow means. 2.25 versus 3.2. That doesn't explain... I don't totally get it. And I don't really care enough right now to figure it out. I'm sure we'll figure it out at some point. But yeah, I think we're good now. I don't think we need to interfere with this anymore. We're just waiting for those to get built, and they're all within range of that roboport. So yeah, as long as they all have modules. This is what, a 10 module, 12 module setup. We've got, let's say 10 buildings. Do I have 120 modules? Yep, so we're good. We are good to go. All right, so what's next? Next on the list is, well, I don't actually have anything on the list. It was nylon. We already did nylon even. Just waiting for the research. Yeah. Malaysia seeds do be the problem. Huh. It's so funny. Taken down by a 0 input flower. Who would have thunk? Anything else we need to scale up? I think seaweed's fine for now. Tufra we can put in the Mark II doodads, but then we're gonna have to double this, which is doable, but then that results in even more sand trash. I almost wonder if we should turn it into pure sand right here to prevent training it twice. Now there's an idea. Yeah, that's honestly not a terrible idea. We've got some space. I could do it on the side here. Moondrops are... I don't know. What's their production rate been? Our max rate is 1.37, which per minute is 82. Have moondrops been up to 82 very often? They were for a little bit there. In fact, for like a 10-hour period, they were maxed out. But now they're back down. Oh, that was... I think that was probably when I started rolling for Moondrop Mark II. But we have Moondrops Mark II, so I might as well improve. It saves us power, remember, so there's no reason not to do it. Oh, wait, I didn't want to click that. Whatever. Alright, so then we also get some free methane. How many modules is this, by the way? Do we have enough? I might have underestimated. Each of these buildings is 16. Might actually not have enough Mark II modules. It is actually a good thing I made as many as I did. Because we have 64 times 16. Isn't that 512? No, that's 1024. Sheesh. We need 1,000 modules? That is a lot of modules. Alright, I'm gonna get some robo coverage over here. Should cover everything. It doesn't say any entities are missing material though. But maybe I did have enough. Just barely. Oh, it's because we don't have enough bots. That's why. If we had had enough bots to do it all at once, it probably would have. That's funny. Okay, well, it'll get there eventually. Oh, the charging wasteland. Look at them all run out of juice. There they go. Alright. Let's watch the roboports climb in oh, look over the last 50 hours. Oh, that's cool. Look at that growth. And the tidal power plant rain. The rain of beauty. But yeah, you can see when you do a construction project. And it's like, oh, here's where we ordered this construction project. And now we've got a lot more energy happening because all 500 bots are in the air. All right, are the fish 2 working properly? Ugh, no? Something's wrong here. Or no, something's very right. We have 200 Mark II fish. Perfect. Something has gone very right. Okay. So let's get those replaced. We are gonna need, let's see, that one should allow for Roboport here. I think. Yeah, that should get built. And then that will connect. It does leave a weird gap over here, so I'll have to build one over here. Well, okay. That should do it. Alright, so back to our Kimsai kind of figurings outs. Circuit boards are a lot of stuff. Let me... I just investigate a little bit here. What was Cermet again? We need a lot of lubricant. What's ferrite again? Yeah, we're gonna need iron oxide produced on demand. Transistors require all the doped wafers. The doped wafers, by the way, wait, where's the original one? So it's the ones that make 10 of everything. That one. The etching solution is just like lard. Yeah, phosphor. Oh, and the peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, so annoying. So that indoped. That one. Heavily indoped is that one. Antimony pulp 2, that's new. What the heck is Dow froth? Antimony pulp 1. So we're gonna need antimony 2 for this, which is a prerequisite, so that's fair. Oh, this is the one that needs the ethylene. Oh, I think we looked into this. I think we already decided antimony 2 sucks, but we need to do it. Yeah, I think I loosely remember discovering all of this already. Ethylene glycol, which needs chloroethanol and slaked lime. Which needs ethylene, chlorohydrin, and ethylene. I wonder which way we're gonna get to make ethylene first. Looks like we get 2 ways. We can make it from Yotoi aloe fruit, which actually might not be as bad as I thought initially. Oh, we do also get BTX to ethylene. So that's very doable as well. And then there's just iron oxide and methane, which is also pretty chill. We've got plenty of methane. In fact, is that a cheaper way to make it? I guess it uses iron oxide, but we get 200 BTX to 300 methane, and then 300 methane would go to like, what is that, 350 or 360, or yeah, I think 360 ethylene. So 200 BTX would make 360 ethylene, which is a lot better than that. But it would then use iron oxide, which this one does not use iron oxide. So I guess it depends on if iron oxide is that tricky or not. And how bad is 10 Yotoi aloe fruit to make? I'm not really sure. I don't know the Yotoi numbers off the top of my head. Generally, 10 flora objects is a lot, but some flora work at different scales of number than others. Where is our Yotoi? Here. Oh gosh, I've forgotten about Yotoi. That's what's happened. Okay, so hopping on a train, we're gonna go over there and fix this. We should have enough modules by now, I think. It's probably been like, what, 5 hours since I've touched Yotoi or something? Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at the Vrauk stuff too. So check this out. It is a resonance cascade situation. Look at all this. It's totally clumped. It started out perfectly mixed and it ended up perfectly clumped. Okay, well that answers the first question. I'm glad we tested that, actually. That makes me really happy to know the results. And again, I will, you know, put my foot in my mouth. I was wrong. I thought that wasn't possible, and it certainly is. I understand better now why it's possible. Gosh, how many modules go into these? 33? 24, yeah, 36 minus 3. These are rows of 12, so. Wow. Okay, well... Okay, that was per minute. I freaked out for a second. I was like, those make 17 a second? I did something very wrong here. I was like, did I forget to put modules in Hellmod? No, I don't... Yeah, I don't think making ethylene from Yotoi is ever gonna be... Even if I made 1 Yotoi a second, which would require 16 of these plantations. That would only make 5 ethylene a second. Yeah, that's not the way to do it. I guess if you have Yotoi that's about to spoil, that's a way to handle it. You know what I mean? But other than that, I can't really imagine why you'd do it that way. Oh, by the way, I'm not dealing with spoilage here. Wait, what? How did I not deal with spoilage? I am such a dingus. I'm like WTFing over here. Wait, 8 fruit. Hold the flip on. Wait, what? Okay. I'm grumpy. I'm grumpy at past Krydax for not even looking at this or even begin. Also, I'm surprised nobody left a comment either about this. Because it feels like it's staring me right in the face right now. Yotoi decays into seeds, right? Which is what this recipe's doing. It's turning, or sorry, fruit. The Yotoi fruit decays directly into seeds. And this is 8 fruit to 7 seeds. Guess what would happen if we just let all of the fruit decay? That's right, we'd have 8 fruit turning into 8 seeds. Instead, we're basically just producing a random biomass instead of another seed for no reason. That's hilarious. I think my brain just assumed it decayed into something useless. But then what's weird is I didn't even handle the fact that it decayed into something. Okay, well, that changes a lot here. So these buildings run, and these are 0 input. Well, I mean, they're not 0 input, but they require no Yotoi connections. They just run off of train inputs and 0 input stuff. So we're gonna do seed. I don't know, we'll go 500. We don't have a reason to slow these down in particular. I still am just like, what? How did this happen? So no, I hate that. We're gonna do it this way. And it should go onto the right side automatically because that's how inline belts work. And then that will be on the close side, which is that side. So that's all correct. Okay. The better way to make leaves? Probably not, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just better to make Yotoi because Yotoi's 2.5 leaves a piece. These are 1/8 of a leaf per piece. These do require the seeds though, but the seeds are pretty easy to make because that's making 3.9 seeds a minute, and these only need 0.6 seeds a minute. So you can run 5 of these off of one of these. Yeah, I don't know exactly what was going on here, to be frank, but I think we've got it solved now. Now these deal with nothing that has any spoilage. Gosh, that's so funny. I still can't believe that. I still cannot believe that. Okay, so seeds go there, and then we do have seeds getting loaded into here eventually. Wow, okay. And then is that inserter fast enough? Yes. Definitely. Okay. Okay. Reminder to fill Yotoy. We probably need to give that like half an hour or something. Because now we're up to 20 a minute. Yeah. After an hour, we'll have enough. For sure. I still am so surprised that we missed that. That feels really silly. That I totally missed. It's so funny. So this recipe is pointless. Still wigging out over that. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Back to this. So because the Vrauks are resonance cascading, as it were, we need to change the mixer length. That was the test we were going to do, and then got interrupted with. So I'm gonna make the mixer a lot shorter. And we're gonna see if that fixes the problem. I think it could. I'm not certain that it will, but I think it could. And then obviously, if that doesn't fix it, we can just, you know, measure the mixer, which would have been a solution many hours ago, I'm aware. But there's something fun, you know. This actually, I get quite a few comments, and this is a very meta thing, but I get a lot of comments over the last 5 years that I've run this channel about stuff like that, where it's like, why don't you just measure the mixer? Where basically there's a solution to a problem, and people are like, why don't you just use that solution? And the answer is often because I want to figure something out. It's not just about the problem. It's about why does the problem exist? What learning, like what can I learn about this situation so that it doesn't happen in the future, or so that I can work around it in the future? And I don't want to yuck people's yum. Like, everybody thinks differently and everybody enjoys different types of problems and different things, and some people don't care. Some people are like, well, just measure the mixer every time. I don't want to faff about with all this crap. Why don't you just measure the mixer and move on with your life? It's like, yeah, that's fine if that's how you solve the problem. But I want to understand why this is happening. I care about knowing how relevant is mixer length to these resonance cascade problems? How relevant is measuring the mixer or not? Like, yeah, it's true that measuring the mixer might always fix it, but that's not the only information I care about knowing. I don't just care about solving the problem. I care about the learning. I care about the why it works. I grew up and I was that annoying kid that would always ask why, right? And like, I don't actually think it's healthy to call that kid annoying who's always asking why. I think it's a wonderful question, and I think we should encourage kids to ask why, and adults. And so as much as I respect that, like, yeah, some people don't care about going on this journey of discovery, they just know there is a solution and they're happy to use that solution. That's fine if that's you. I don't want to poop on people who do that, but at the same time, that's not me. I actually care about a lot of other things than just the fact that measuring the mixer would solve it. And so for those of you that sometimes feel that way, it's like, that's okay that you feel that way, but it's also okay that I don't, right? Like, people can be different. Same with rail signal stuff. Some people just want to download a rail signal book. Mine is on the Discord, by the way, if you want to use mine, and just use a system that works, because they don't want to sit there and figure out all the rail stuff. But for me, I actually care about the investigation, and I want to go on that journey of discovery, and that's part of the fun of the game for me. So anyway, as far as like, there are just basic solutions that I've ignored in this whole Vrauk process. And if that's bothered you, or you've wondered why I didn't just do it the easy way, it's because I care about figuring all this out and learning from it. So I've actually decided to ignore things that I know would solve the problem, because it's not just fixing the problem that I care about. It's learning all the intricacies of this particular problem. Why does this problem crop up? What makes it crop up? How can I prevent it? What, you know, because now we know that a resonance cascade is actually what happened. It, like, even a perfectly mixed belt trended towards being clumped because of what we had going on. So now what I want to learn by making the mixer shorter is there essentially a spectrum where at some point a long enough mixer causes a resonance cascade? Because now if we trend towards being perfectly mixed, what we will have learned is that it is the mixer length that causes the, potentially also combined with other variables, right? It's possible that all of the consumption of flora being on one side is the real root cause. I'm still actually convinced that that's part of it. If the flora consumption was even along the whole belt, I'm actually convinced the longer mixer would be fine. I think it has to do with if one of your items is being fully consumed on like half the belt, then you're going to trend towards all of your items being clumped on half the belt. That's my theory there. But even then, it might require a long mixer for clumping to happen. So we'll find out. We'll find out if it gets spaced out over the next few hours or not. It might stay clumped, and that would prove that essentially the issue lies with it being only half the belt that's consuming an item. It's possible that clumpage is mostly because of that, and that's the bigger factor, right? And that's what we're testing here with a short mixer. And this is, it still could be shorter, right? But this is a pretty short mixer, and I don't think I need to go shorter than this to test my theory. Anyway, I digress. How many Yotoi do we have? 163? That's still not enough. I need like, I don't know, 400? 500? But we might as well put a few more in. Anyway, we seem to have another problem here, which... Oh, crap. Has that been part of it? I don't know if that has. I hope that wasn't part of the resonance cascade. I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. I think it wasn't. I think it wasn't, but I don't know for sure. Alright, let's grab these bad boys and finish off the seed producers. So that gets me 20 seeds a minute, which should be more than enough. We're only consuming 6 seeds a minute at present rate. And then those are gonna slowly filter in. Malaysia is all running. Malaysia, can't type. Okay, so looking at Malaysia, you can see that we were right at 200 a minute, and now we're up at 270 a minute. I think 280 is where it's gonna flatten out, because, well, 200 plus 40% is 280. So that's my reasoning for that. So anyway, should help with the problems we're having. What's next? Oh, you know what? Who was it? Oodles. Oodles on the... What is my hotkey for milestones? Shift M? Shift M. Oodles had a really helpful idea for... Someone was talking about on the Cridania Discord... Wait, what? That's not what I wanted. Oh, I think we have to go into the settings. I assume it's map settings then? I doubt this is a startup setting. Is this really a startup setting? Oh, I had these three confused in my head. I was like, surely it's not a startup setting. I thought startup was the one on the right. Okay, so we want the... show incomplete. But then how is it gonna group them? I have no idea how it's grouping these. But this is a great way to think about what to work on next. Because like it's kind of showing us major milestones that a human has picked out of the pie stuff. These are human chosen objects that we're gonna need on the way to Kimsai. I don't know how they're ordered when you're not grouping them. That could be a bit random. I'm curious because when you list by group, you know, it has them grouped differently here. Oh, I guess they're all in the chemical category. So they're just listing them in this order. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to need silicon carbide, for example. And then, yeah, these are all the things we're going to need for chemical science. We haven't even gotten one of them done yet. Oh, that's almost defeating. That's hilarious. We've been in Pi 2 science for 65 hours. We haven't even gotten one of these done. Oh, that's funny. We've been doing a lot of important things, to be fair. But that is kind of hilarious. And vanadium pentoxide is it's a bad word is what it is. Okay, let's look at silicon carbide. What's tricky, part of why I like building this out, I'm tempted to actually do it correctly, is to get some rough numbers. Like, I have no idea how much silicon carbide we're gonna need, right? And we won't know unless we work this out to be semi-correct. And so that, like, why is this making, oh gosh, it's making ash. Shift click that. So yeah, there's this part of me that's like, I kind of want to work through this. Maybe we'll just chip away at this a little bit each episode, and then eventually we'll have it. Let's do optical fiber. This one's going to be pretty easy. So, photo 4 needs trits. That's simple enough. So trits, we need 0.08. And I think I want to make that over here. So I presume we're only going to have the first recipe available to us. And then within that, we need 0.08, so we'll call it 0.1. Wow. Are you serious? Need 18 reefs for trits? Did I do something wrong here? I was looking at optical fiber. Photo for, oh, I did do something wrong. That's providing bones. Why is it doing bones to 0.32? Okay, so just to be clear, this block, is there bones required above it? No. There's no bones. Or is there? No, there's no bones on this ingredient list either. So this is a bug, right? Like when I select this recipe, why are bones selected as the primary? I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Why are bones selected as the primary output? There's no reason they should be selected as the primary output. There's no bones needed, and there are photophores needed. So photophores should be the thing that gets selected. It just stands to reason, of course. Now I am curious, have we gotten all the optical fiber inputs that are needed? We might not have. Optical fiber goes into, that's later, right? Yeah, super. So it goes into neuroprocessors, it goes into complex circuits, and it goes directly into chem-sci. But neuroprocessors aren't used for chem-sci, right? They are used for buildings. Looks like only for tier 2 buildings. Unless I'm missing something. I guess neuromorphic chips later. But other than that, and whatever this is, that's unlocked in chem-sci. So they're used for a couple things. That's 2 things now that aren't buildings that I've seen. And then these codex stuff. I'm ignoring that. Yeah, mostly buildings otherwise. Okay, so then those are not part of our ongoing chem-sci production, is what I'm getting at. So I think... And these are like way later, right? Yeah, that's prod sci. Assume that's prod sci. Okay, so I think what I've discovered then is that the optical fiber we need for chem-sci plus the optical fiber we need for red circuits is all the optical fiber we need. And we're overproducing slightly the circuits we need by 0.06, which is good because we need some. So I think that is a fairly accurate amount of optical fiber. 0.24. Okay. So then, yeah, this is a fairly correct amount of trits, 0.04. Trits are not really useful for anything else, it seems, other than their photophores. They might be decent for lard. I'm not actually sure. It depends on how hard these things are to make. I'm also going to take a picture of this because I don't like that clicking resets the scroll bar. So I'm gonna report 2 things in one bug report. All right, so then trits. I mean, this isn't really that bad now that I look. Well, maybe it is. I haven't looked at the cubs. Oh, wait, I can do 2 modules in there. Is that a lot of Moondrop? I can't really remember. And is that a lot of Sea Sponge? This doesn't seem terrible. 23 is pretty bad. So Moondrop wise, we're making about 2 a second. I don't remember the recycling ratio on seeds. So yeah, that is a lot of Moondrop actually. Seaweed doesn't matter. Saline is pretty small. Sponge at 0.067, I'm guessing is not a big deal. No, that is kind of a big deal. Sponges are pricey right now, and they need Zogna. Don't forget about the Zogna. When do we get Sponge Mark II again? We do get them in Pi 2, but much later in Pi 2. So, but we can expect to have them by the time we care about this, I guess is important to note. Okay, so this isn't that bad. I do think I'll probably dial this back a little bit to like, I don't know, divide by 18. Or no, why don't we get 134 times 2? Yeah, exactly 2 repro complexes. And 18 pressurized reefs, that feels about right. Okay, so there's trits. That will be enough for the photophores that we need. All right, I probably should call it an episode soon. We'll keep hammering away a little bit at a time. At this, let me finish out the stuff here. Cladding. Glass core. Definitely gonna hot air that bad boy. And I'm still missing something, the Kevlar. Now the Kevlar, I think, is used in multiple places. Which one do I get? Not that one. This one, the nylon-based Kevlar. That is used in... I would love if you could filter buildings out. It's used in mechanical parts too. Magnetic cores. Kevlar coating, which is what we're looking at now. Wind vanes, which only matters if I'm doing wind power. Otherwise, it's only used in buildings. Okay, is Kevlar coating used in other stuff? Wait, this is called coat the fiber with iron niobium alloy. That's so funny. Which is only used in optical fiber. Okay, so Kevlar is... That's unlocked in Kimsai. Do we need mech parts 2 for Kimsai? I think we do, but I can't remember. Oh, this is a pain to look through all this. Worst part is the sorting makes it so that you can't really tell if you've seen everything you need to see. Huh. Buildings, 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 buildings. This row has non-buildings, but that's mech parts 3 and tracker, which I assume is unimportant right now. Okay, buildings, diamond mine, control units. That's a Pi 3 thing. Buildings, 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 buildings. Bio battery, that's Pi 3 thing. Modular armor, cargo landing pad, rocket silo. Okay, so as far as I can tell, we don't need mech parts 2 for Kimsai. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I don't mind a little bit of, you know, lessons from players who have already done this. As far as I can tell, we do not need mech parts 2 for Kimsai. We'll need them in the Kimsai stage, but not to like make chemical science. But if I'm missing something, let me know. All right, we are going to call it an episode there. Let me grab whatever Yotoi we've scrounged up since then. Seeds being on this is a problem. No, it's not. That's where they're supposed to be. Never mind. We're fine. That is exactly where they're supposed to be. Forgot that was a multi-provider. Yay! We had enough. Alright, the Yotoi farm is fully operational. Gosh, I still can't believe this nonsense. That's so funny to me. That really is hilarious. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And we'll see about this flora mixing over time. It's not looking good so far. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next one.